Hello and welcome to HIPE Stories, a show about high impact Pinoy entrepreneurs, the entrepreneurs based in the Philippines who do three things. Entrepreneurs who have the most disruptive ideas, who go on to scale their business to become large and successful, and then do something really special. They go on to pay it forward by helping the next generation of entrepreneurs also become successful. And when they do that, they create an enormous economic multiplier effect. I'm Manny Ayala, your host from Endeavor, Philippines, and we are very lucky today to have as our guest the one and only Steve C., founder of Great Deals, the leading e-commerce enabler in the Philippines. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Hi, Manny.
Hello.
It's really a pleasure to be part of this show, and thank you for your invitation.
I should say thank you for spending 1 hour in traffic to go from Quezon City all the way here to be with us. So maraming salamat.
Yeah, no problem.
So today, I think the structure of our little chat is going to follow the main components of what it means to be a high-impact entrepreneur, right? So first we start with the idea, right? This idea for Great Deals, how did this come about, right? And go as far back as you want, right? To how you got to the point where you said, I'm going to start a company.
Well, to be more precise, I think I first have this experience on the e-commerce space, 2014.
Oh.
My main purpose was just to have my slow-moving products sold online. That was just my main motivation.
What kind of products? Like what?
So I was selling cell phone accessories during that time, and basically I have some power banks
Yeah.
in the Lazada platform, and then November 11, 2014 came the double sale.
Uh,
I have a few thousand power banks, and it got sold in one day. Everything, all of my
mga ilang
inventory,
units yun?
a few thousand.
Wow.
No? Everything got sold in one day, and I said, "Anong klaseng animal tong
Wow.
e-commerce na to?"
Yeah.
That was my light bulb moment, and I think that piqued my interest on how could something like this happen. So I have a hard time because I don't have stocks anymore for Christmas.
This was on Lazada, I'm sure, right?
That was on Lazada during that time. There was only Lazada.
Kailan siya
during that
nag-launch? Mga 2013, di ba?
2012.
2012. Okay.
When they started.
Yeah.
But in terms of dropshipping business, they started on 2014
Okay.
when they offered
So
this
I can say
dropshipping model.
that you were a drop shipper in 2014. That's your business.
I was more dropshipping model yung ginawa ni Lazada during that time.
Yeah.
But basically we're merchants. I was
Merchants,
a merchant
okay.
in Lazada.
Yeah.
That was my light bulb moment in terms of the e-commerce space. And as early as January of 2015, I was at the bazaar. And then the store beside me was selling virgin coconut oil
Okay.
called Giga. And then they were, ang daming customer, there were a lot of people buying from them. So after that, I approached the owner and asked him, "Sir, can I be your e-franchisee?" Yun yung word na ginamit ko, no? I'm not gonna open a physical store, but I'm gonna open an online shop. And he agreed.
Yeah.
And he was technically my first customer as an
Okay.
e-commerce enabler.
So you had to make a little website or anything or no?
So I just set up a Lazada store for him.
You set up the store. Okay.
Yeah. Online store for him. Basically, I became a franchisee of Giga.
Yes.
But instead of opening any physical store, I opened an online shop.
And then yung delivery and all that, bahala na siya.
Ako bahala lahat.
Ah,
Basta
ikaw?
online. So I just
Okay.
buy the products from him and then I sell it online.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was my first concept of becoming an e-commerce enabler. So I use the word e-franchisee during that
Okay,
time.
so let's say he's your customer at VCO and I ordered it. How would you get it to me?
So I already bought the product.
Yeah.
Warehouse it in my warehouse, and then when I got the online, I just have it delivered
Through third parties.
through Lazada.
Through Lazada mismo. Okay.
Noong time na yun, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how did they go from that to this this what do you call this? Mammoth business that you are today.
So by God's grace, so by as early as 2016,
Yeah.
no, I have two major milestones that happened 2016. Number one was I was able to onboard my first multinational company, which is Reckitt.
Oh, that's one of the largest FMCG in the world. No?
Yes,
Reckitt
it's a top
Benckiser.
5 Reckitt sir.
Yeah.
And during that time, I was at the Lazada event, and then I met the e-commerce head of Reckitt,
Yeah.
and then he was telling me that he sold around 500,000 of Durex condom. Nung time na yun, sabi ko, I think I can help you grow your business, because he was telling me he was having a hard time selling his goods online. So if you give us that opportunity, we'll be happy to distribute and sell it online for you. And in just a span of 5 months, we were able to grow Reckitt's business to 500%.
Wait, so what were you doing na hindi niya kaya?
So I think we have this what we call seller mindset. So number one, what we did was they were not selling Lysol online. And I told them, no, I'm gonna sell Lysol online. And he told me, nobody buys Lysol online. But if you haven't tried it, you will never know. So I bought it, take photos of it, realistic photos,
Yeah.
offered it online, and it sold. And it grew. Number two is, alam mo naman yung Durex condom. Sorry guys, but I have to explain this. Condom is a very taboo word, especially for Filipinos. When you typically go to a convenience store or drugstore, lalakas mo pa yung loob mo para just to buy a condom or a lubricant eh. Diba? Nahiya mo pa sabihin eh. So what we found out is we did what we call a discrete pack. When people order Durex or lubricants, even your mom who receives the delivery won't know it's what's inside, because it's a discrete pack. And it was selling like hotcake, because Filipinos are quite shy regarding in these products. So yun yung mga things that we've done in terms of listening, knowing what a typical Filipino wants.
Yeah.
And we were able to grow that business 500% in just a span of 5 months.
Okay.
And that was one of our parang road to fame. What kind of startup can grow this big brand online? And then number two, I had a home brand called New York Sneakers.
Sneakers.
New York Sneakers. Yun yung white label name na ginamit ko.
Oh, okay. Sourced from China.
Sourced from China. So during that time, always people will think, nobody buys shoes online because you have to measure it pa, diba?
Yeah.
But, sometimes it's what the brave thing to do. Bought some few thousand rubber shoes, post it online, and it sold.
Yeah.
And it sold so good that we became the number one fashion brand during 2016,
Oh, really?
beating the likes of Bench, Pen Shop, and SM Store in the Lazada platform.
Yeah.
So that's how huge the business was.
Yes.
We're selling millions worth of rubber shoes.
So at that
with
point,
only purely online branding lang siya.
yeah. So at that point, anong mas malakas, right? Being a merchant or being an enabler for you?
So that time, it's still being, because it's direct eh. So it's my own product na pinaparating ko, selling it direct with no direct to consumer. So the margins are quite better compared to being just an enabler.
Yes, yes.
No? But those two were my, I would say, highlight of the year, that we were able to attract and onboard more multinational companies.
Yes, yes, yes.
So 2017, it was the time of L'Oreal gave us a chance. And I still remember we were a single proprietor.
Yeah.
And L'Oreal told me, Steve, we only works with corporations. So I have to literally, that was the time I incorporate, because my business needs to. That's the reality, guys. And they were the number 2 health and beauty brand. But by end of that year,
Which one? Yung
L'Oreal.
L'Oreal
Was the number 2 health and
2.
beauty brand, category-wise, in Lazada.
Yeah.
But by end of that year, we became the number 1 health and beauty brand na.
Wait, so prior to meeting you, they were already there on the platform.
Yes.
And then you approached them and said, we can help you.
Grow your business bigger and faster.
Yeah. When did it dawn on you that this was your way forward, right? Being an enabler and not just a merchant.
Okay. So, remember that we were awarded as Online Revolution King of Fashion by
Yes.
New York Sneakers. So,
Yes.
one of the award was we were able to go to Alibaba headquarters.
Okay.
That was early 2017. So,
Yeah.
January of 2017, we were there for a few days.
Yeah.
And it struck me because parang I've seen the future of e-commerce. When I went to China, I saw already what the future holds for the Philippines. And I said, oh, this would be it.
May kwento naman. What did you see?
Okay, number one, sabi ng SVP ng Alibaba during that time, we have 1 million products on our platform, but we don't own any inventory. And it only takes us 2 servers to start to a new country. So sabi ko, wow. So sabi ko, okay, but in the Philippines, you need to buy inventory for you to be able to do business, right? So it's a different mindset. So I saw the opportunity that I can be an enabler.
Yeah.
Because in China, there's what we call Tmall partners. These are enablers of the brand.
Tmall,
Tmall.
right?
So because China is Taobao and Tmall.
Yeah, Taobao. Yeah.
So Tmall partners, they have a whole ecosystem of partners. So I also went to one of the number one e-commerce merchant in China. So how they operate, and it encouraged me to do the same thing.
I see. 2017 to, no?
That was 2017. So when I came back, this vigor, okay, I will able to become an enabler for all of these brands to bring them to the digital space and to the digital economy.
Was that an easy decision? Or did you have to agonize over that for a long time?
That was...
Kasi di ba, maganda yung margins mo sa
I think
shoe business.
Because even... I think my crossroad moments would be when we became... Babalik ko lang yung storya. When we became the number one health and beauty brand, L'Oreal.
Yeah.
So the former number one, which is Procter & Gamble, after 12/12/2017, after a few days they called up, set us a meeting. And then I realized, oh no, they were asking us if we can onboard them. And doon ko na realize that I don't have enough funds for me to grow my business. So 2 things. That was my crossroad moment. Am I gonna be happy and satisfied or content with L'Oreal, with Reckitt, and CLN, JAG Group? Yun yung ini-enable ko noong time na yun. Or do I take on P&G?
I see. What year was that? 2017.
December of 2017.
After your Alibaba
After
visit.
that Alibaba business.
What did you need the money for?
Well, inventory, additional warehouse space, additional racking system. So, bottom line, I need 40 million pesos to be able to receive their business.
Well, so let's shift into the scale-up part of this conversation, right? So, you had this, I guess you might call it an inflection point. It's a decision to make, no? Am I gonna grow the business or happy na ba ako dito, right?
Yes.
So, ano ginawa mo? And how did you think about, or how did you go about getting the money to do that?
So, of course, I have a mentor, a discipler. So, I asked him, what's the best course of action? Sabi somebody told me, Steve, huwag masyadong swapang. Sabi mo, huwag masyadong swapang. Kung anong kaya mo lang, yun lang. But then, while I was praying, sabi ko, this is not about swapang. This is about where does God wants to lead me. It's not about being greedy. It's about, do I have the opportunity and the resources to continue building it? So that was it was a challenge for me kasi
it reminds me of one of my favorite parables, the parable of the talents. Diba? Go and multiply, right? What you are a steward of.
So, my discipler told me, what do I do? Sabi ko, do I get loan from the bank or get an investor? He told me, which is a very good advice. Sabi, Steve, it's very hard to grow your business while paying your, interest and the loans on the bank. So better get an investor. So that's where I realized I need to have an angel investor. So I got an angel investor that I talked to P&G December. January, I started talking to an angel investor. In February, he invested.
All right.
And then we onboarded P&G 2018. Mundi Pharma and Disney and 84 more brands.
Wow.
On that year.
To complement those 84 new brands, did you have to grow your team as well?
Yes, definitely.
And was that hard?
So I was sharing about the teachers,
Yeah.
no? So
Your first few
employees. So
employees.
my graphic designer was a art education teacher.
Yeah.
So when I was expanding, I asked, "Oh, baka may friends ka?" So there were my first three graphic artists are three teachers.
Wow.
And then summer came along and we still need additional manpower. And then of course they recruited because two other teachers. So 5 na sila na teachers. And then they were so happy with the company that they decided not to go to pursue teaching already in public school, but to help us out in growing the company. Now, the beauty of having teachers is two things. Number one, they know how to train people.
Yes.
They know how to teach.
Yes.
So we were able to scale because you cannot hire someone that knows how to do e-commerce.
Yeah.
Because it's still very new industry.
Right.
Wala pa ang course nung time na yun.
Uh-oh.
So, number one, they were very good. And number two, they were very nurturing.
Yes. Okay.
And I think those were the two key values that
That's
we
really
have.
interesting. I mean, Jack Ma himself was a teacher, right? Before he started his
So
business.
that's why sabi ko nga,
Interesting.
it's a very good combination. And because they're public school teacher, sanay sila ng bootstrapping.
Bootstrapping yun.
Because very resourceful.
Uh-oh.
I remember this. My accounting personnel came sabi, "Sir, we need a filing cabinet." Sabi ko, yung sale sa Mandawi phone is still October. This is still June.
Yeah.
Can we buy it on October? Sabi ko, kasi doon yung sale ng Mandawi phone. After a few days, I saw bond paper boxes formed together to make a filing cabinet. That's how resourceful yung mga teachers talaga.
Grabe.
But the beauty of it is we were able to pass it on. So as I add more teams, because they were teachers, they were nurturing, we were able to scale. So as early as 2015, we have the most number of shops already in Lazada. And Lazada was asking us, why do you have so many shops? Nung time na yun. But I said, because that's how our marketing works. We look at not one shop should be, for example, we have one shop that's only selling shoes, another shop that's only selling watches, another shop that's only selling wall decor. Hindi natin pinag-dedicate. So category by category.
Yeah.
And that's how we were able to scale at first. They were my first core team, if you will ask me, Manny, as we were growing the business.
Yes. So at that point, you had a competitor, right?
At that point,
wala pa?
Anong year to?
2018 yata?
2018, of course, we do have competitors.
Yeah.
And they were huge competitors.
And at that time, would you say patas pa kayo? Patas pa kayo? You guys were still at the same level? At what point did you pull away from the crowd?
Okay. I would say 2019 would be our pivotal year.
Yeah.
No. So, I'd like to share this story. This is, I think, one of how I broke my glass ceiling. I'm a typical Chinese entrepreneur. Taga Divisoria.
Meaning,
ano ibig sabihin ng meaning? Hindi ako marunong magpasweldo ng more than 6 digits.
okay.
Diba? And most entrepreneur hindi sanay. Magpasweldo ng 100,000 above.
Yeah.
No. So this is the beauty of it. That this was around 2017 nga. No? So 2017, yung e-commerce head ng isang multinational company that I'm dealing with called me up and said, "Steve, I'm resigning from my job and I'm transferring to your competitor." And I said, wait, let's talk first.
Wait, 2017 or 2019 na to?
2017. Itong ikukwento ko
That's
sa'yo.
the Alibaba year, di ba?
Yeah, but this is latter part na. Latter part. Mga fourth quarter na, October na.
Okay.
No. So he was resigning from a multinational company and going to my competitor. He was the e-commerce head.
Yeah.
So I told him, wait. And then I asked him, magkano ba yung offer sa'yo? 100,000, sabi ko. During that time, Manny, the highest sweldo na binabayad ko was 30K.
Yeah.
So never employed someone that's above 50K.
Yeah.
My highest was 30K. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So having to have this mindset of getting someone that's more than 100,000 is quite new to me.
Yeah.
So I also went to my mentor again,
Yeah.
asked him for advice. And my mentor told me, Steve, this is how you view it. Which really struck, a chord on me. Sabi niya, when you buy a truck, diba, it's good for business.
Yeah.
It's millions of pesos.
Yeah.
But it helps you in your business of, logistics.
It takes money to make money, right?
And sabi niya, look at it as 1.3 million, 100,000 times 12 plus 13th month pay, 1.3 million of investment.
Yeah.
And after a year, check it out kung mababalik niya yung 1.3 million or even more.
Yeah.
That's an investment, sabi niya.
Yes.
Don't look at it as an expense.
Okay.
And I'm blessed with that person because at least when I invested on him,
Yeah.
ang ganda nga ng balik ng negosyo ko.
Yeah.
So that's where I learned how to scale up
Right.
and look for good talent
Right.
by investing on them.
Got it.
And that was, I think, yung divisory mindset ko, dun naputol.
That was a breakthrough, right?
That was a major breakthrough for
Yeah.
me as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So at what point did you say that you kind of started to pull away from the rest of your competitors?
So during that time, it's quite early. All of my competitors were regional players.
Yes.
No?
Yun, well-funded yun.
Well-funded yun. 2019, e-commerce was the number one enabler in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Followed by AAD. And then
Yes.
there's a Filipino local startup called Great Deals.
Yeah.
So we do have already that year P&G
Yeah.
and L'Oreal. So we're quite lumalaban na sa kanila.
Yeah.
But that year, 2019, the number one account of e-commerce, which was Abbott, transferred to us. And the number one account of AAD, Nestle,
Yeah.
transferred to us.
Yeah. Why?
But that's the better question, right? But let me answer this. So after when they transferred to us, we became the number one enabler
Yes.
in the whole of the Philippines.
Yeah.
And that was a pivotal year for us. That was 2019.
Yeah.
No, when people ask me why, hindi ko naman masabi na talaga mas gwapo lang talaga ako sa kanila, no? Katulad mo, Manny, no? But I think it's because how we executed
Yeah.
and how we have when you do competitions, di ba?
Yeah.
Best sales. Most of our brands are the ones getting all the awards.
Yeah.
So there's a FOMO effect that if you're not with Great Deals, you're not maximizing your your growth in e-commerce space.
Yeah.
And I think for the longest time, that's why more and more brands keep on coming to us.
Yeah.
It's because of the brand magnet effect that number one, our service is well beyond what you really pay for. We give value.
Yeah.
Very customer centric.
Yeah.
And we do the extra mile for our brands.
Right. Right.
And you can see at the result. And I think, kasi we ask, do you have tech? Do you have all of these things? Sabi ko, what we have is the service. Because I know we're not really a tech-savvy
Yeah.
company, but we're a service-oriented company.
Yeah.
And I think that what set us apart talaga. The
Yeah.
entrepreneurial spirit that lahat kakayarin natin yan just to grow it.
Yep.
And then, pag lululugi ako, sasabihin ko sa brand ko, talo ako, tignan mo, pakatulungan mo naman ako. So we were
29
working together.
Yeah.
Collaborative.
Were you already full service 2019?
Yeah, full service. Ever
Okay.
since I started, it's end-to-end service talaga.
Just to let the audience know.
So
Full service means what?
Okay, full service means what? Number one, we do their digital content.
Yep.
So the creatives, the product catalog, the online shop creation, online shop management,
Yeah.
we take care of it.
Yep.
So that's what we call the front end.
Yep.
We also take care of the warehousing, the fulfillment,
Yep.
the customer service. So we were the first customer service na may 20-hour, hindi naman 24/7, but 20-hour 7
Yeah.
days a week that we offered.
Yeah.
So that every HM po ng mga Pilipino, we can always answer.
Right.
So that's the basic full service that we offer.
Right.
And we always say we need to be full service because we want to have control on each aspect of the consumer journey,
Right.
from ordering to receiving their products.
Right.
So yun yung everything that we're
And then I
handling.
think at a later point you got into data analytics as well.
Kasama na data analytics, yes, as we keep on improving through the
Right.
year.
And so the great deals of 2019 compared to the great deals of 2022 times how many X na yan?
Oh, 29.
So in 3 years, lumaki pa kayo eh.
Yeah, so 8x already.
8X.
Yeah,
And to do
2019
that,
na.
you needed to raise money again, di ba?
So yes, we do need to raise money again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And nakakatawa was my angel investor, my seed investor.
Yeah.
My seed investor was my customer,
Yes.
the distributor of Barbie
Okay.
shoes and dolls.
Yeah.
And I remember this because I thought we were having a meeting for me to share to her how I will grow her you
Yeah.
know, her business online. But then she asked me a very good question.
Ano?
Are you raising money? Are you
Okay.
looking for
Yeah,
investment?
yeah.
And my answer was yes. Parang ganun pa yung yes ko. Yes. Because I was not expecting it. And
Right.
she invested $1 million sa
Yeah.
company namin for us to grow further.
Yeah. And then
That
several
was
years later,
2019.
then 2021,
Then 2020 was
2020,
our
Series
major Series A investment.
A. Right. And
which
I
is
think at that time was the largest Series A, right? In
it's
the
the
Philippines.
largest and never heard of during that time. That was $12 million.
Right. And then I
By
think the
Navigar.
next year, you had the largest Series B.
Yes, we did, and that was $30 million.
Right. Okay. Well, what a journey. What a great scale-up journey. Now, I'm going to sort of end, right, with the third piece of the high impact Pinoy entrepreneur, which is once you get to a certain scale and level of success, right, you start to pay it forward, right? You start to nurture the next generation of entrepreneurs to unleash this multiplier effect.
Definitely.
How do you do that in your life? What are some of the things you've been doing?
So, I think it's very important for us kasi time is the only resources that's really limited.
Yeah.
So, I always, try to pay it forward because as I've shared to you, I do have a lot of mentors or disciples in my life that help me
Yeah.
make these, critical decisions in
Yes.
my journey as an entrepreneur. And I would like to pass it on also.
Great.
So, I do co-founded a few startups.
Yeah.
I do angel investment
Yeah.
for a few startups also. So, I do have another 5 other startups aside from Great Deals. But I don't do the day-to-day
Yeah.
activities anymore. I do have CEOs. But more importantly, I view them not as really an investment on my money, but investment on the life principle that I've learned that I want to pass it on to them. And yun yung pananaw ko on how to be able to impact others also. Because
Yeah.
for Great Deals, we've contributed more than 1,000 jobs already. Inspired a lot of entrepreneurs to really grow up and scale up in the startup industry. And it's me going deep down, digging deep to certain entrepreneurs for them to grow and become, successful entrepreneurs also.
Yeah.
Impacting the lives of our generation and the Philippines. Our mission talaga sa Great Deals is to uplift Filipino lives
Yes.
through the digital economy. And I always share to them when people, look at Great Deals, I mean, so successful. And sabi ko, in every successful moment or mountaintop, you have to go through a desert experience.
Yes.
And for me, I've gone through a desert experience
Yes.
in my life.
Yeah.
When we talk about desert experience, hindi yung desert na ice cream. Desert experience yung hardship. And, for me, I was in debt for so many years.
Yeah.
At a very young age, I was foolish. I invested on foolish things and I got in debt for 32 million pesos.
Yeah.
That was age 27.
Yeah.
27, 28, that age. I have 2 daughters during that time. Added another one after a year.
Yeah.
So, yung reality na it's really hard when you go through a desert experience because, una, when you're in debt, di ba, ang sa akin, I have to pay off my debt.
Yeah.
It took me 12 years to pay off my debt.
Yeah.
Madaling sabihin 12 years. Pero pag nagtatrabaho ka 3-4 years, nakita mo yung peers mo, umaangat na sa buhay, ikaw nagbabayad pa rin ng utang, you
Yeah.
get discouraged, you get depressed. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And I'm sharing to everyone, don't worry if you're in your desert experience. Because all of us would, before, lahat tayo dumadaan doon eh.
Yeah.
The important thing is we need to have hope.
Yes.
No? I remember this Bible verse, Romans chapter 5, verse 3 to 4. Rejoice in your suffering, for in your suffering produces endurance.
Yeah.
Endurance produces character, and character produces hope.
Yes.
Sa akin, I was clinging to the promises of God that one day, yayaman din ako. Money.
Yes.
Sabi ko, alam ko, yayaman din ako. And you look at the Bible, every great man of God that God uses have to undergo through trials, desert experience. Ang sabi ko lang kay Lord, wag naman Moses na 40 years in the desert. Kahit Joseph lang, 12 years.
What about Job?
Na namatay di ba? So sabi ko, Lord, bigyan mo naman ako kahit Joseph man lang. No?
Yeah.
So that was 12 years of hardship. I have to, buy NFA rice for my kids.
Yeah.
Yun ang pinapakain ko sa kanila kasi hindi nga kasya sa budget talaga. I had my table and chair kinonfiscate ng kamag-anak ko because I have utang to her.
Yeah.
No? So these are really real, talaga nangyayari sa buhay mo eh. You have to let go of some things because, you made the wrong decision.
Right.
But doesn't mean na tapos na ang buhay natin. There's always hope.
Right.
So after 12 years, learned the e-commerce space and then grew great deals.
That's right.
So I think yun yung importante.
Yeah.
For us to always have hope.
Yep.
And don't worry if you're going through desert experience, which many of us have gone through, especially during the pandemic. There is hope.
That's right. And do you see this hardship that you endured as somehow being linked to why you decided to pay it forward? May relationship ba yan?
Of course, I think in life kasi, in terms of my faith, kasi as a very early age, I think I have this realization about money. I'm a very competitive guy, Manny. I earned my first million before, at age 20, I earned my first million peso already. Then I was looking at my passbook. I remember that day, 1 million, nandito na. Ano susunod? 5, 10, 50? Pero is this life all about? When I was pursuing it, I was just concentrated to make that first million. But then afterwards, sabi ko, ito lang ang babuhay. And sabi ko, doon ko na-realize na money is not about, life is not just all about earning money.
Yeah.
I think making an impact, making something for God's glory would be my main mission sa buhay.
That's terrific. And I think that sums up very neatly Endeavor's own approach, right? We like to say that we're trying to help entrepreneurs redefine what success is, right? That success is not the size of your passbook, your market share, your ROI. Success is really how much of a positive impact do you leave behind in a wider world, right? In an ecosystem. And so with that, I think we'd like to wrap up the show today. We're so grateful, Steve, that you're with us as our first guest. And
really appreciate it.
Yeah, I will say that you are the walking poster of what it means to be a high-impact Pinoy entrepreneur, right? Sa wikang Pilipino, magaling, matino, mapagbigay. So thank you so much for being with us today. And that's our show with Steve C., the founder of Great Deals, the Philippines' #1 e-commerce enabler. And just a few words. I'm going to put on my glasses if you don't mind.
Sure.
You can call me Tito Manny if you want. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you want to connect with us, our email is hello@endeavor.org.ph. You can also catch us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. This show was produced by Endeavor Philippines. I'm Manny Ayala, and you've been listening to HIPE Stories, a show about high-impact Pinoy entrepreneurs. Thank you. We'd like to thank the Asbury for our studio. The Asbury is a private members club in Poblacion, where the creative and cerebral live in the moment and work, gather, grow for tomorrow. To know more, come find them at astbury.club. Again, that's Astbury, ASTBURY Thank you again to our friends from the Asbury.